Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second session of the Moura Circle. We hope this session will give you a clear idea of what really works when it comes to the ERPM preparation. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tishan Vijayatunga, who will be sharing the exact approach that helped him succeed in the ERPM. I'm sure this session will be extremely valuable for all of us. So without taking much time, I'll hand over to Dr. Tishan.
Thank you, Divya, for inviting me for this event today, and thank you for Dr. Rajivan and the Moura Academy participants as well. So just to give a quick introduction about me, so I am Tishan. I did my A-levels in 2017, and then I graduated did my MBBS in Manipur, India and Malaysia. I graduated in 2023, January. So I was able to write my ERPM theory papers in October of 2023, and I completed my practicals in 2024 June, and I started working in 2024 around July. I did my internship in Benis Hospital, Balangoda, and currently I got my post-intern and I'm working as a MO Rheumatology in District General Hospital, Ampanga. So since Divya gave me a few topics and asked me to choose, I thought maybe I would choose the topic of what you guys would like to do, what you guys might be able to do to get a good rank in the ERPM exam. So before I get along with the main body of my speech, I think there are a few disclaimers that I have to give. So one I will give at the start of this speech. So guys, what I should say is, what I did is something that works for me. So I'm not guaranteeing that everything that I will tell you is something that was going to work for you, and it really should not. Because everyone is a different person, everyone has a different personality. So just get what you think will be useful to you from whatever I'm telling. And if nothing actually works, that's fine as well, because everyone studies in a different way. All of my friends studied in different ways, and we all somehow managed to get through our exams as well. So coming to the main thing of this speech, so the first thing is, I would say, will be about theory. So I think there were a few speakers before me as well, and they might have told you to start classes from the second year, third year onwards itself. That is actually quite helpful, I would say, because that will help you to have a strong foundation on your theory. But I have to speak on my experience. So I was not able to start classes when I was in university, because I'm not sure if there's anyone from Manipur here. We kind of have a strict timetable with stuff, so it was really hard to focus on anything else. So I started my classes after I came back to Sri Lanka. But even so, I had around 8 months of study time left, because I landed in January and I wrote my exams in October, start of October. So during that 8 months, the first thing I did was I consolidated my theory. So I think even in the Moura platform, everything is neatly labeled for you. You guys can listen to all the theory classes properly, right? And then Sir has a theory tutor as well. So my thing is, finish up your theory, and if you guys want to follow the tutor as well. But if you're someone like me who likes to make their own note, just make your own note in whatever way that is helpful for you to study later on. And if you guys have a good university note as well, incorporate that into whatever you guys are studying as well. Whatever it is, first thing that you should do, that I feel like will be helpful, would be to have a very good theory base. And that will not only be useful for your exams, whatever you guys study will be useful for when you start your internship as well. Because when you are doing your internship, whatever you guys study during this time, when you are university kids, and whenever you are studying for ERPM, will be whatever you guys study will be the foundation for your internship as well. And whenever you guys are studying and you guys come up with anything that you guys are unsure of, the best thing to do is always you can contact your lecturers. Like you can always text Dr. Rajivan or whatever and clear out your doubts. Make a good note, take some time, even if you didn't have a good theory background in uni, that's completely fine. You guys can have a very good theory basis when you are completing whatever ERPM classes are there. And this goes for all subjects. So I feel that that's the main thing. First of all, cover your theory properly. And then I would say, coming to the second most important point is doing the questions, which are the MCQs, right? So this is, at the end of the day, this is an exam, this is a competitive exam. So repetition of MCQs is really important, and I would suggest for you to get your theory in order before you start your questions as well. And even if you start questions while you're in the middle of doing theory, that's fine as well. So what I did when I was doing my questions was that first of all, I did theory-wise, the topic-wise questions, right? So while I was doing my topic-wise questions, that felt like a second round of theory for me, because now I have done my theory one round, I have studied my theory one round. Now coming to the topic-wise, it's like you are going through the theory of each topic again and again and again. So that was my second time studying the theory, basically. And when you are doing questions, guys, what I would feel was helpful for me was that I tried to do the question papers before sir's class. Like, it will barely take you 30 minutes. Just if it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's correct, it's correct. This is the topic-wise stuff, right? So just mark it, and then see when sir is discussing whether whatever you wrote is correct, and if it's wrong, why it's wrong. And I feel like the most important thing is, be it on a virtual device or be it on hard paper, just make a small notes of whatever question. Just don't mark it right or wrong. Just add whatever important points that your lecturer, be it whatever lecturer, ERB lecturer is telling, just add on to it, so that when you guys are close to the exam, you guys can just run through those papers one by one, and there is a way that all the important points will be highlighted to you as well. And it doesn't have to be neat and tidy. Like, if you take one of my question papers, no one else in this world would be able to understand whatever I've written except me. So it's just that whatever works for you, just do it. All my friends, some highlighted and wrote stuff, some typed out stuff. I just wrote it in a pen and paper. So just write whatever. But it's important because questions are not going to get repeated, but that basis of that question will get repeated in all the exams. So if you know the theory behind that question, I think it will be really easy for you guys to answer whatever question that comes in the exam. So after you guys have done with the topic-wise questions, so I feel like then you guys have done theory twice. So you guys would be quite comfortable with it. Then move on to the proper papers. So when you guys are doing proper papers, I think again, do the papers before the class. And then, since it's proper papers, and by then I think you guys would be closer to your exams as well. If you guys have started doing papers after graduation, I'm speaking like me. So by the time, I feel like the best thing will be to get an estimate of where you are. Just give yourself marks. Like, if you have done your paper before sir, when sir is discussing, see which is correct, see which is wrong, and give yourself marks. And you don't have to tell anyone, you don't even have to tell sir, it's a mark for you to see. So if you have gotten 40 marks in the first paper, so you know that you guys have some improvement that you need to do. And so a bit more study, you'll see which areas you got most questions wrong at. And then you can study a bit more of that section, and then you can try for the next paper. So the next paper, if your 40 becomes 45, that means there's an improvement. So the most important thing is, be true to yourself and just put correct and what is wrong correctly when sir is telling the paper, and just do it. And again, in those revision papers as well, whatever sir is discussing, just write it down on the side as well. And I'm not sure if this is there anymore, but when I was doing my exams, Rajivan sir had live discussion classes. For me, I think it was quite, because I was not a huge fan of online classes, because sitting in front of a screen for hours and hours was not my cup of tea. So the live discussions classes was like a break from that routine, because sir was there live and there were students and we used to ask questions. So I used to discuss some questions as well. That was really helpful, and I felt that like whatever doubts we had, we could clear up with sir at that point itself. So and usually it's not on a regular basis, so I used to just organize a few discussion classes here and there. I feel like the best thing would be for all you guys to join those live discussion classes and ask some questions, participate in those question classes as well, and it will be really helpful. So then again, so when I did exams, it was long cases and short cases, but I guess you guys don't have that anymore. It's OSCE for you guys, so I'm not exactly sure on how the practical classes and the practical component of it will work. But then again, whatever live discussions, face-to-face stuff there is, I feel like go and get used to it. And then so those are that part covers theory and then the questions. And I feel like another question that a lot of my friends, my juniors in uni asked me was, did you guys go to hospital while you were studying? So again, this is speaking as a person who started studying after graduating from uni, right? So I came back, and again, there's no hard and fast rule for that. Main thing is you keep your time to focus on your theory part and your questions. At the same time, if you feel like me, I felt like again, the whole atmosphere of online thing was trapped. Like I was at home all the time. It wasn't that conducive to me. So I felt, so maybe spending 1 or 2 hours in hospital was not a bad idea. Then again, I knew a lot of friends who felt like going to hospital was a waste of time for the theory component. So they stayed at home, they did their theory, they did their questions and passed. Not an issue at all. It's just because of my personality. I felt like I need some time out of home, and it would be nice to see whatever I'm studying again at the hospital as well. So I did go to hospital. So I think that again depends on your personal preference. So because that's a common question, a lot of my friends used to ask me like, did you go to hospital? Did you go to this thing? If you want to go, go. But main thing is keep time again to do your theory and your question papers, whatever is them. And then again, I think the most important thing I have to say is when you guys come back from uni, I'm pretty sure most of you guys are still in uni, right? So when you guys come back from uni and you start this whole ERPM cycle, it's a very tiring task, because you guys are used to going to classes, hanging out with your friends. But when you come back to Sri Lanka, wherever you guys are going to go to, there's classes upon classes upon classes from the morning till night. So it's a bit of a daunting process, I would say. It's not a scary thing, but you feel a bit overwhelmed. So main thing I feel like is to be able to take some breaks while you're studying. Because if you're just going to burn out halfway through your studying process, it's not going to help you at all. So take a few breaks. Like if a person loves to go out to the gym or go out to like once a week to play a match or something, just do it. 1 or 2 hours of not studying is not going to affect you passing this exam at the end of the day. If you do your whatever 2-3 hours of studying, if that's what you're going to do per day, if you do it properly and you spend the rest of the time doing what you like, I feel like you can still do a decent job. So I think that's the main thing that quite a lot of my friends went through as well, like having a burnout in the middle of studying. Like, so they just took a few days off to like clear their heads. So if you feel like in the middle of studying that you guys need a bit of time to clear your heads and everything, you guys are not taking a step back, do take that time, clear your heads and get back into studying. At the end of the day, this is an exam, guys. That's what I wanted to tell everyone as well. So this is just an exam, not the end of your lives. So focus on it and you guys can get it done as well. And then finally, I think coming to the exam day, again, that's something I felt like needed to be said. A few days before the exam, I feel like you guys would have been studying for quite a long time. So the last 1 or 2 days, don't try to cram in the whole syllabus in again, because that's almost impossible. So that's what I was telling, because if you have done your papers and had written down all these important points that sir had discussed, it's really easy. You guys can just go through those important points. So when we were doing exams, we had usually like one subject, we had different papers for each subject, right? So we had like one subject per day, sometimes 2 subjects per day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. So whatever time there was, we just went through whatever small notes we had written. Most important thing is before the exam, have a good rest. I think that's the most important thing. Don't come to the exam hall like you haven't slept in 2 years. That's not going to help you, that's not going to help anyone, right? So just be calm. Walk in, you'll be writing your exams with friends, so that's not a bad thing. And then the thing at the end of the day, even though I said this is a competitive exam, if you pass, you pass, right? So there's no one's going to fail you even if you pass, if you had gotten the required marks. So just going into the exam hall, I feel like being confident in yourself. If you have studied up to a point where you feel that you are confident, I think that's good enough, because at the end of the day, you can't study everything and anything under the sun, right? So if you have come up to a point where you have got decent marks for the practice exams, like there will be a lot of practice exams, I feel like you guys should be confident enough to go and write it. And that's why I was telling, the main thing is have a good idea of where you are by doing all these practice exams, whatever. I'm sure sir will arrange, every lecturer will arrange all these live exams and stuff closer to your ERPM exams. So go to those exams, do those exams, get a good idea of where you are. And if you are, and even if you score low in those marks, there's always going to be 2-3 weeks left for you all to improve on those marks, dude. So I feel like that's the main thing. So just to summarize, main thing would be to focus on the theory, get your theory sorted. If you have a good basis, if you have a good theory foundation, you guys can answer anything. That I will guarantee you. So as an example, like just instead of by hearting and memorizing, okay, this is the drug I'm going to give for this thing, just try to understand like why are you giving this drug to this thing? So even if the question is turned in a different way, you know what's the mechanism of the drug, right? So it will be easy to put it and use the concepts and answer each question. So that's my main thing, was don't by heart it, just try to understand the mechanism of why everything works, kind of thing. So it will be much easier for you, because by hearting everything, I don't know if you guys can do it, kudos to you guys. You guys are much more brainy than me if you guys can by heart everything, but I simply could not by heart everything. So I just tried my best to understand why each thing is done and each thing is used, and I felt it was personally a bit easy. And one more thing, guys, I think also try to give equal attention to all the subjects as well, because sometimes you think all these minor subjects don't matter, but at the end of the day you need everything to pass, right? So don't try to give up. Yes, you need to spend a lot of time on the main subjects, yes, but do spend a bit of time on the what we call minor subjects, because at sometimes I knew a few people like who did really well in all the main subject papers, and they had such excellent marks, but they had to repeat the exam because 1 or 2 marks they were found lacking in the smaller subjects. So don't let that happen to you guys. This is a very doable thing, guys. If you guys are juniors, 2nd and 3rd year, and you guys have started classes now itself, you guys are much ahead than I was when I was in uni. So that's really good. So you guys can take time, slowly do it. Don't have fun in uni as well, because when you start working as an intern, you will look back into like, damn, I should have done more fun stuff when I was in uni. So that's I feel like the main thing I want to tell you. And again, I told you I had a few disclaimers that I want to tell you guys. The last disclaimer that I want to tell you was, yes, this was about getting a top rank, and getting a top rank in ERPM is really nice. I'm telling you guys will be able to get a better hospital and all of that stuff. I was fortunate enough to be the 4th during my ERPM exam as well, so it really helped me to get my preferred postings of medicine and whatever. But at the end of the day, guys, when you guys go to work, the main thing which matters is your attitudes and how you approach stuff. Like the ranks and whatever marks you got for ERPM at the end of the day does not matter when you enter the workforce. Of course, to enter the workforce it matters, but when you enter the workforce, I think the main thing is being able to have some good attitudes and being able to get along with everyone at your workplace, because it's not going to be the sheltered atmosphere that all of us were in when we were in uni. You guys will be exposed to everyone and anyone in the Sri Lankan healthcare sector. Right, so I just wanted to wish all of you guys all the very best. I'm sure all of you guys will be able to pass the exams with flying colors. Just try, if whatever I said helped you guys, just take whatever you can. If it doesn't help, yeah, you guys can study whatever way it helps you all out. Just do what makes you guys comfortable. That's my main thing. And does anyone have any questions? I don't know how it goes. Do they get to ask questions, or how does it go?
Thank you so much, Dr. Tishan, for the insightful session. I really love the sentence when it comes to the question will not repeat, but the base of the question will repeat. I hope everyone who's watching this video will understand the meaning of this sentence. And also, I hope everyone found it useful and gained some practical strategies to apply in your own preparation. If you have any question, feel free to reach out us. Also, we would love to hear your suggestion and what kind of session you would like in the future and how we can support you. And thank you everyone for joining with us. Thank you, Dr. Tishan. Okay, thank you, doctor. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you everyone.